girls on enter the area. We 2 feet shut down the arena. You know one put us for corner. I'm on a danger, making the trash be mental. My boss babe to pass your level. We too sweet past sugar level. The party don't start till me and my girl show for the center. Make all man down. Turn it up.
You must bring the heat, I'm gonna know the beats now.
Hurry up.
You must follow my lead now.
We go higher to the sky. We no retire. We don't get tired. Drop it, get your life, calculate your price. To be left for you ain't got nothing on me. Drop it, get your life, calculate your price. To be left for you ain't got nothing on me. My girl gang. Them my girl gang. Yeah, we run down them my girl gang. Where your girl gang.
Ah yeah.
My girl gang. Them my girl gang. Yeah, we run down them my girl gang. Where your girl gang.
Yeah.
Something, where you at? But I call me something. Carry the go, your love to go. Did you turn off the stereo? One time you see us for the corner. 2 times we fit dance for the center. Every time we walk out, got that nice going by. Turn it up.
You must bring the heat, I'm gonna know the beats now.
Hurry up.
You must follow my lead now.
Drop it, get your life, calculate your price. To be left and you ain't got nothing on me. Drop it, get your life, calculate your price. To be left and you ain't got nothing on me. My girl gang. Them my girl gang. Yeah, we run down them my girl gang. Where your girl gang.
Ah yeah.
My girl gang. Them my girl gang. Yeah, we run down them my girl gang. Where your girl gang.
Yeah.
Girl gang, them my girl gang. Yeah, we run down them my girl gang. Where your girl gang.
Ah yeah.
My girl gang. Them my girl gang. Yeah, we run down them my girl gang. Where your girl gang.
Yeah.
All past, don't wanna last. In fact, your presence a present that's my gift wrap. All my gift wrap. Body hourglass, my skin color sexy. Wonder where your ass is. Penny for your thoughts, give a top to the classes. Private lessons, a little fire and compassion. Just you're coming, baby. Under, baby, love it, baby. 100 times, 100, baby. Put it in a bag, no Santa. Shake it like a red nose, ain't no prancer. Do it. Fast, faster. Do it. Fast, faster. Break it, give up. Put it on center. I'll break it, give up. Bring it. Do a little nasty. Do a little naughty. Bless you, blessing me. You are. Break it, give up. Do a little quicker. Give up. Give up. Give me a little nasty. Do a little naughty. Break it, give up. Give me your soul, body, mind. Give me what's yours. Keep mine. Get it, shawty. You know you want me. Don't you lie. You know you want me. Body on God, it's skin color. Yes, please. Think outside the box for the box. You always give me what I want. I'ma roll it up 'cause I'm blunt. How you want? Just you coming, baby. Under, baby. Love 100 times 100, baby. Put it in a bag, no Santa. Shake it like a red nose, ain't no prancer. Do it, do it, do it. Fast, faster. Do it, do it, do it. Fast, faster. A great gift giver, put it on center. A great gift giver. Bring it, bring it, bring it. You a little nasty, you a little naughty. Please, you blessing me. You are a great gift giver. Do a little quicker. Gift giver, gift giver. You a little nasty, you a little naughty. Great gift giver, gift giver. Don't you see I want it, babe? Don't you see I need it, need it? Don't you keep me waiting, babe? Don't you see I'm waiting, boy? I know you see it, but I'm me for the one time, one time. Bring it, bring it, bring it. You a little nasty, you a little naughty. Bless you, blessing me. Gift giver, you a little quicker. Gift giver, nasty, you a little naughty. Great gift giver, gift giver, gift giver. Put it on center. A great gift giver. Bring it, bring it, bring it. You a little nasty, you a little naughty. Bless you, blessing me. You are a great gift giver. You a little quicker. Gift giver, gift giver. You a little nasty, you a little naughty. Great gift giver, gift giver. I'm the illest. Rolling up, like already did it. With the subs up, you better listen. Coming up, but ain't no competition. Nah, I ain't tripping. All the boys got 'em moving to my flow. Now the girls got 'em dropping low. Going through the most, cause they ain't afraid to grow. Coast to the coast, I'ma hit your radio. Dreaming about it every day. I know that now I'm finally on my way. I know that I've been on my gun, I've been telling myself to do it up for me, mommy, for nobody else. I'm nothing, I'm looking, I'm liking what I see. Hit different, when a little mama got a big vision. Hit different, aiming high, baby, I go the distance. I've been putting in work, putting in time, putting me first, now my whole life. Hit different, with the bang, ready. Hit different, ooh, over there, who's the hot one with the long hair? Looky, ooh, that's me. Mirror, showing I'm a bad bitch. And I don't see the girl that I felt, so down and out on the self. A total mind and body globe, down in every cell. Living it up, ooh. And I'ma go and killing it, cause that's just what I do. Dreaming about it every day. I know that now I'm finally on my way. I know that I've been on my gun, I've been telling myself to do it up for me, mommy, for nobody else. I'm nothing, I'm looking, I'm liking what I see. Hit different, when a little mama got a big vision. Hit different, aiming high, baby, I go the distance. I've been putting in work, putting in time, putting me first, now my whole life. Hit different, with the bang, bang, boom, 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 bang, boom, bada, boom, bada. Hit different, boom, 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 bang, boom, bada, boom, bada. Hit different, coming in hot, I'ma get in it. Got you feeling that bass when I'm hitting it. With the bang, 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 bang. Hit different, when a little mama got a big vision. Hit different, aiming high, baby, I go the distance. I've been putting in work, putting in time, putting me first, now my whole life. Hit different, with the bang, ready. Hit different.
Welcome back to this channel. It's Sister Rain, the Mystic Maven. Miss me? Anyway, how you guys doing? Come on in. I'm gonna have to give it a minute. Awin. Autumn. I know how to say that one. Autumn. How are ya? Don't know if you're still in here. We hope that you are still in here. I'm gonna have to give it a minute. We're gonna give it a minute. I'm gonna give it a minute for you guys to come in, but I'm also gonna give a minute for the algorithm to forgive me, because Lord knows that it hates it when a bitch takes a break. You know what I'm saying? Hi, hey, guys. Come on in, come on in. All right, class. It's in session. We got a lot of things to cover. Come on in. Let me know when you're here. Let me know when you arrive. Let me know when you are settled. Come in, come in, come in. We've got things to talk about. We got to chat, you know? We've got to catch up. Many developments. How was your day? Your week? What day is it? Today's Wednesday. Your month? My day was okay. I had an okay day. No qualms, no qualms. Although McDonald's did test me a little bit today. I'll tell you about it. Come in, come in, come in. Rhonda, come on in, come on in. Everybody come in, gather around, come on in, come on in. It's been a minute, I know. The algorithm is pissed, I know. It doesn't want to tell anybody I'm here. It's okay, come on in. We'll give it a minute. I went to McDonald's for dinner. Don't judge me, okay? I don't have time for any of the holier than thous right now. Don't judge me. It's funny too, because whenever I do go to McDonald's, I always have like a moral internal debate. One that includes, girl, we've got food at home, right? So there's that one. And then two, it's like McDonald's, out of all the things, that's what you're going with? Like McDonald's? Like, come on, like, that shit doesn't digest. Like, what are you doing? So glad to catch you live. What happened at McDonald's? I'm about to tell you. I actually never get the notifications, but today I did. See? It was meant to be. It was meant to turn those notifications on, by the way. Like, share, subscribe, help people out, push that button so other people know, because no one gets them. Like, no, people tell me that all the time. No one gets them. I don't know why. I'm not the YouTube gods, but anyway, McDonald's, right? So I was like, I have a hankering and I always feel real bad about it. And the craziest thing about, okay, I have so much guilt when I eat McDonald's that I don't eat McDonald's publicly. Like, even my husband a lot of the times won't know I eat it because I never bring it home. So when I have like a weird McDonald's craving that happens, I like go, but I don't tell anybody where I've gone. I'll like sneak off to McDonald's, and because there's this one McDonald's that I like that has a nice parking lot, and the parking lot is by like a TJ Maxx and a Marshalls, and I get to people watch, right? And so I get the McDonald's in the drive-thru, and I find a nice parking spot, and I sit there and I post up and I people watch and I eat McDonald's. This is like a thing. Look, I'm not saying that I don't need therapy. You know what I mean? But like, we go together now, so I'm just telling you what it is. Howdy. Not that it's so much name. Judy! Hey, I literally just searched you yesterday to make sure I have my notifications up. Good. See, I'm trying to tell you. So anyway, today I'm like, all right, I got a hankering. And what do I get? I usually get a 2B with a Diet Coke. A 2B, right, is a quarter pound of cheese with bacon on it, right? Today I had that day. So I went and I got myself my 2B. First window, great experience, right? The girl in the window, she was super nice, customer service. She had her customer service voice on. She even offered me a receipt. Now, here's the thing about receipts in Atlanta. One thing I hate more than anything is when they don't give you a receipt or they try to ring you up real quick and then like rush you through the drive-thru. I'm always like, give me my receipt, because there's a scam in Atlanta where they add extra stuff to your receipt, sometimes like gratuity and stuff like that. And because most people don't take their receipts anymore, and so you end up being overcharged and you don't know that you're overcharged. And so I'm always like I want my receipt. I want to see what you just charged me, Anyway, she was great. She offered me this. You want the receipt? I want the receipt. She said, no problem. She gave me the receipt. Second window, we hit a snag, right? So the girl in the window, she hands me a dark beverage. We'll just say that, right? And then a bag. And I went, this smells like nuggets. So I looked in the bag. Sure enough, it was a 6-piece. I was like, hold up. This is not the right bag. This is not my order. So she looking at me now. She got a stank attitude. Well, what did you order? And I was like, a 2B, a bacon quarter pounder. I didn't order the nuggets. And so she's like scratching her head. She's like, oh, okay. And she takes it back. Now I'm trying to also give her the drink back because I'm like, the whole order, I think you just gave me the wrong order. Here's it back. She was like, why are you trying to give me the drink back? And I was like, because you gave me the wrong order. She was like, well, what did you drink? Like, what did you ask for? And I was like, well, I asked for a Diet Coke. She was like, well, that's a Diet Coke, isn't it? And I was like, you're asking me. I'm trying to give this back to you because I'm presuming that you gave me the entire wrong order. She was like, well, no, that's the Diet Coke. And I'm like, well, how am I supposed to know that? I literally was like, well, how do I know that? She goes, well, it was the only drink up here. And I was like, it took everything in me to not be like, bitch, if you don't give me my mother before I like military roll through that motherfucking window, like I don't fucking work here. Like, what the fuck? Just give me. I made this mistake. Like, bitch, this is you, homie. Like, this is your fuck up. And I'm not even upset with you. Just give me the right bag. Like, this is not even a problem. And now you're starting to turn this shit into a problem. So she's looking at me. I'm looking at her. She looking at me. I'm looking at her. She looking at me like this. I'm looking at her like this. And I'm holding the drink. So she was like, so you want to get that back? And I was like, I do. I want my drink. She goes, well, it's a Diet Coke. And I said, and I know that how. You just gave me the wrong bag. Why would I assume that the right drink is now with the bag? And then she goes, because it's dark. And I was like, so is regular Coke. Like, what do you want me to do here? You know? So she goes, well, here's a straw so you can taste it. Like, bitch. Like, when I tell you, if you want to get abused for the day, take your ass to a fucking Atlanta McDonald's. That'll do it. That'll fucking do it. If you want to walk away with hurt feelings, go to fucking McDonald's in Atlanta. Yaya says, where they be charging at the register, right? And yes, it was the nuggies. Hi, Venus. It's not that hard, just make a new drink. The craziest thing is, I didn't even expect a new drink. I just think the whole order is wrong. So why would I keep half? If I'm trying to give you it back, I'm gonna be like, no, take the nuggets, but don't take this. No, like, I'm gonna try to give the whole thing back so you can replace it with the thing that's my thing. Like, you probably, I don't know the person behind me and what they wanted. Man, whatever. So that was my little stint at McDonald's. It was terrible. It was terrible. And the burger was subpar. And I also got to say, the experience was not worth the shame. It wasn't worth the secret McDonald's shame that I typically have. It works better when it's a seamless drive-through experience. But being questioned over a Diet Coke, it adds to the internalization of it all. Yes, she told me to taste test it. She was like, here's a straw. I was like, what the fuck is happening? As if she was like, you don't believe me? No, you just handed me nuggets. Like, why would I believe that? I don't know. I mean, I get that I'm like spiritual and everything, but I don't think that like this love and light shit is for me. You know what I mean? Because I was real close to being like, bitch. When she hit me with that straw shit, I was almost out. Like, I was almost done. It was one too many things for me and my overstimulated nervous system, considering the fact that it was the end of the day. Like, it was just a little bit much, you know? So, but I did. You'd be so proud of me. I got out of there. There was no argument that was had. I got out. I even got extra ketchup. Okay. And I went about my business. Listen, I be the same way. Them points be expiring. I feel like that's so much customer service in Atlanta that it builds character. It does build character. It also builds a little bit of attitude, you know. But I guess if we're looking at the bright side, we could call it character. I personally would call it disrespect, you know. But hey, whatever. Anyway, I went to my favorite parking spot and then I proceeded to people watch, which I think is a new thing for me, by the way. Like a new habit. Something about being in your 30s, there's a lot of switches that start to turn on. Like I'm having a lot of moments where I'm like, "Oh, that was auntie behavior." Like, "Oh, shit, bitch." And it's like happening faster than I can clock it. But I'm starting to pick up little tendencies here and there where I'm like, "Oh god, it's happening." One of them being I love a good people watch. I love a good people watch. You know what else I have? Shopping. But like shopping for the sake of shopping, there is no end goal. A lot of times there's no ultimate intention either. It's just like shopping for the sake of shopping. Like I'm gonna tell you something. If I ever come up missing, I need you to check the nearest TJ Maxx. I need you to go there first. Like if I ever come up missing, go to TJ Maxx first, okay? And then if you are unsuccessful there, I need you to then check the vicinity. What do I mean by the vicinity? I mean the Home Goods, the Marshalls, the Ross. I need you to check the vicinity. If you're also unsuccessful there and there is a Starbucks in the area, go there. 9 times out of 10, I needed an energetic boost. Something happened amidst the frolicking where I frolicked too hard and I lost a sense of time. I don't even know. I remember being like a kid watching the women around me go to TJ Maxx. And I didn't get it. To be quite honest, I still don't really get it, but I be in there. And I be in there multiple times a week. And I have a route. I have a TJ Maxx route in which I hit up different TJ Maxxes in different neighborhoods. I have regularly, when I'm like GPSing my way home, hit add stop, add stop, add stop, and all the stops are TJ Maxx's on the way home. Like it's just TJ Maxx, TJ Maxx, TJ Maxx, TJ Maxx. And my husband is like, "You said you were going to be home in 50 minutes." And I was like, "That's before I added the stops." So if I ever go missing, check all the TJ Maxxes in the Atlanta metro area. And then check the vicinity because something happened in that place. I'm telling you right now, if something went wrong, it was at the TJ Maxx or the vicinity. All right? Because it wouldn't be hard to find me. That was it. I was frolicking. I need you to check the bag aisle and I need you to check the little jewelry counter area. Okay? If you got some time, check the shoes, but like the bags and then the jewelry counter. All right? Check those areas first. I'm around there somewhere. I'm gonna tell you, if I'm not home, I'm around there somewhere, right? Because I'd be like, I'm leaving with something. Or the line. I could be standing in line. Shit, for all I fucking know. You know what else I do? Nothing like entering your TT era, missing at the max with the service in hand. And I'll be happy as a clam too. But I do this other thing. Now, this other thing I noticed that I do, right? I have conflicting thoughts. Outside of the secret McDonald's, I have conflicting thoughts about this. I really do. Because I didn't think I was ever going to be that girl. I leave reviews. Particularly if I feel like someone wasn't nice to me. It's less about if someone made a mistake on something, like I give grace for that. I don't really care about leaving a review for that. But like, let's say I have a shopping experience that was less than great and I feel like someone was a little mean, slightly disrespectful, had an attitude, I'm leaving a review. If I get a link, if I get one of those automated like emails that's like, "Thank you for shopping with us," how did we do? And then they send you a prompt to complete a review. I'm going to do that. And it's going to be like super honest. And I'm going to leave feedback. Like, it's so bad. I left a review for the emergency room when I was admitted. Like, I swear to God, I was like in a bed, like, this place sucks. Like on my phone, and was like, that nurse at check-in, she's a bitch. And she left everyone's pee cup on the counter, violation of HIPAA, like which straight up was like, like it's like, I'll leave a review. Because I've reached an era where I'm like, I fucking spent money here. Like, I know you're not gonna just disrespect me and take my money. And yet, even the emergency room, that shit ain't free. Still a service. I'm not saying that I expect like Ritz hospitality. You know what I mean? I get it. It is not the Caesar's Palace in Vegas. It's an emergency. I get it. You know what I mean? But like, don't be mean for the sake of being mean. Like, don't let me stand there dying and then you just shrug your shoulders. I'm gonna need you to put me in triage. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't do that, I got some shit to say about it. And what has happened is it's really interesting because it's also like coincided with like old me, past me, didn't say much of anything. I was always like, go along, get along. I know some of you are probably like, what? But I was very much like, go along, get along, try not to rock any boats, because I thought that conflict would disappear faster if I did it that way. And then like, as I've gotten older, I realized that the only thing that has disappeared was my peace, right? And these days, I'm like, I'm not spending money somewhere for you to just act crazy towards me. I'm not fucking having that. Like, we're not doing that. Like, I treat you with respect, you treat me with respect, but I need to be met with where I'm coming and I'm meeting you at. You know what I mean? Like, it's actually unacceptable to meet me with that way. Now, it's okay to have a bad day, but I need you to tell me that. I need you to communicate with me that in that moment, you just feel a little off. That's okay. But don't just think that you can like walk through this world and then encounter me and that I'm going to be fucking okay with it. I'm not okay with it. So I be leaving reviews for people, you know? Wait, now you're inspiring me to leave a review from my past traumatic shopping experience for real. Like, I be leaving like real, and it's not even just like 1 star. It's like, because let me tell you about the situation and what this person did. And I understand that maybe this person didn't mean to come across this way, but this is how it was perceived. And this was the effect, right? So I'm always like, this is what happened. And this was the impact of what happened. Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, because the review's going to give them the notification. I'm definitely telling. I'm going to write a letter. Look, if we were still in letter writing days, I would have written a letter. That is so funny. White Chicks. I love that movie. Anyway, so the last review I wrote was, it was recent. Friday? Saturday. I wrote a review Saturday. And I wrote a review, and it was a Coach review, because I bought something and Coach was like, how did we do? And I was like, terrible. And was like, I spent X amount of money and I didn't get that X amount of money experience. And okay, so essentially what ended up happening was I had walked in and I was very much a woman on a mission. I knew what I wanted and I knew how much money I was about to drop in there. I knew that, whatever, I'll just tell you. I knew I wanted to spend $1,000, right? Which some of you are like, in Coach. Yes, in Coach, not everything is outlet. They do have high-end pieces, okay? Anyway, I knew what I wanted. We were on a mission. We were going to go get it. So I showed up. It's Friday, right? And I just wanted to confirm. So I was like, that's that bag in the 40, right? Meaning the size of that bag, just to confirm. And then, oh gosh, the poor associate, she was like, oh, I think, I don't know. I'm not sure. Strike one, right? Anyone that's about to drop that, who's ready to drop a band and they're dealing with a sales associate who does not know product, that's a problem. Because I could go into a Coach store and tell you all the shit on the shelves, the sizes, the colorways, everything. And I don't work there. And so when you're like that, like as a customer, and then the person that's supposed to be helping you has to check what the product is, it is off-putting, you know? And then there was like another situation where I felt like the manager was being kind of standoffish, blah, 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 whatever. Anyway, so I wrote a letter. They asked. I wasn't going to write a letter on my own, but they sent me the link. And so I had to respond. It would be the nice thing to do. So I wrote a letter, and I didn't think anything of it when I hit submit. And then I got an email. 30 minutes later, I got an email from Coach. And they were like, "We received your feedback. We are so sorry that happened. Are you available for a call?" So then I wanted to run. I was like, oh shit. Because I had a moment where I was like, I was just talking shit and now they want to talk to me about the shit that I was talking. I was just trying to talk behind your back. I wasn't trying to have that conversation face to face. Like, I thought this was an anonymous forum where like I could get it off my chest and like walk away from it. I didn't think I was going to have to face the shit I said, right? So I almost ignored the email. And then I was like, you know what? No, you spent a lot of money there. Like a lot of money there. You should take the call. Like you should take the call and like use it as an opportunity to like help the store improve the experience for what it means to be a customer there, right? Particularly a customer who consumes a lot of the products. Actually, no, say the shit to their face. So I was like, I'm available at this time and this time. And they called. Coach, they called me. They called me. If I'm dropping a band, I'm going to need to see smiles. Hello, right? So they called me. And I will say it was a kindest call. And like it was like the best customer service experience I have ever had, which I didn't actually anticipate that it would be. I didn't know what I was going to get. I didn't know if it was going to be defensive or I don't know what I thought it was because I've never had like a store be like, we want to talk about it. So I was just like, oh, I'm be ready to battle kind of thing, you know? But it was the kindest experience that I've actually ever had. And they apologized. And so I said to them, I was like, look, and I was like, I want to leave grace and some faith. And I was like, because a lot of things could have happened that day. I could have walked in at a really weird time. I could have walked in when maybe they were trying to have a meeting, or maybe they were focusing on restocking, or the sales associate that I ended up with was new and I caught off because I'm gonna tell you something. Me with a little bit of money and an intention is no match for no 20-year-old sales associate who's still learning bag names. Those two energies just don't go together, okay? Like they don't. I probably made her nervous, to be really honest. And I said all of this to the person on the phone. And I was like, I want to leave space for all of that because I don't know what was actually happening when I walked in. It just could have been super weird, right? And long story short, I was right. The sales associate, she was newer, but they did apologize for that. And they were like, you're right. Product knowledge is actually really important. And I let them know. And I was like, the problem is that experience does not like that is, I paid $1,000 and that wasn't $1,000 experience. Like, and I was like, I don't know how else to say it. And the expectation, if you're going to spend $1,000, is that I want $1,000 worth of smiles back. I want $1,000 experience back. That wasn't it. And I was like, and that's where the problem is. And that's the problem that I have with that, particularly someone who goes there often. And so she was like, you know what? She was like, I get it. She was like, because I know you shop here often. She was like, because we pulled your profile, and I was like, I've never seen her name come across in one of these surveys before, because they have profiles on you. And I was like, yeah, about that. But now that I know that you guys look at this stuff, I'm going to think twice about the amount of shit I got to say. I'm not going to lie. I may think about it an extra time, And then they were like, and the person that you feel like was standoffish is, I guess, one of the store leads, and was trying to help the sales associate that was helping me like sort of step into their leadership a little bit. And so she was trying to hang back and not interfere so much. And so I was like, well, advice that I have for you guys is to let the customer know that. And I was like, if she said to me, hey, that's your sales associate, that's the one that's assigned to help you, she's going to get you everything you need, she'll be back in a second, no problem. And I was like, that would have made sense to me. And I was like, but all I know is that the person that was supposed to help me walked away, which I know she walked away to go to the back to look for the stock, but that wasn't communicated. So I don't know where she went or why she left. And then I was like, and the other person, the only other person that was left on the floor is, when I'm asking her, can I have this, isn't responding to me. And I was like, that makes it look like she doesn't want to help me. And I was like, communicating with the customer that that's what's happening in that moment can really help when it comes to different things like that, because we're going to think that like you're being rude. Anyway, they took my suggestion and she was like, I'm going to take this back to my team and we're going to, and she's like, I'm going to work on training, my team on like communication, on how they can communicate that with customers so people know what's happening. And I was like, oh my God, that like, holy shit, I just did the world a service. They should make sure the floor associates are trained, even if they sit in the back and study to be trained. Honestly, that's how I feel. I feel like product knowledge is like super important, and especially in those stores, because people that shop at those places know what they are. People that shop in those places know what the products are, know the sizes, know the colorways, know the materials. Like people who are like coached down, and I'm one of those people, like I go coach hard. People that don't go coach, you're sleeping on it, but I go coach hard. You know all of it. I know the creative director's next move. Like that's how in it I am. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty intense. So when you walk in and someone's like, I don't know, let me check. You're like, this doesn't feel like $1,000. Like you're supposed to be like, yeah, girl, you want it? Hold on, girl, you want to try it on? Like you got it. Like I know I'm gonna buy it, but like, come on, you just entertain me a little bit. You don't even have to do it for 5 minutes. A solid 30 seconds of entertainment, to make me feel like I'm doing a good thing with my purchase. That's all I really need, Anyway, so yeah, they took it on board. They actually took the feedback and was like, we still want you to come back. Like you should. They were like, you come here a lot. I feel like I laugh every time I say that because that's also somewhat funny and then a little embarrassing. They were like, we don't want to lose that. And I was like, it's all right. It's all right. I'll be back. Don't you worry about that. I'll be back, But yeah, that was, so I leave reviews now, I leave reviews now and I shop, which, especially shopping in Atlanta. Shopping in Atlanta is hard. You know why it's hard? It's hard because everybody shops here. And all the good stuff goes really fast, like super fast. It's pretty intense. Like if there is something that you really like and it's going to be released or like dropped on a certain day, like you can't be like, oh, I get paid in 2 weeks, I'm going to go in 2 weeks. If you go in 2 weeks, it doesn't exist anymore, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like people, like it's very competitive, especially with handbags and stuff. It's very competitive here. Like you have to be on your P's and Q's. It's so competitive that people in Atlanta shop from the runway. So they keep up with the runway and the runway shows. And then they have connections in the stores and relationships with a lot of the SAs, a lot of the associates. And then they just like call them and be like, yo, like that thing I saw on the runway, them shoes, that bag, whatever they saw that they liked, they were like, they'll like call in and be like, I want that. And then so by the time you hit release day for whatever it is, for whatever brand it is, you're lucky if you can get your hands on it because so many people already like put their name on a list somewhere and then it's being reserved for that one person. And so like you can make a whole plan. Oh, it releases this day, get up early, go to the place to go buy the thing and can't get your hands on it because people reserved it 6 months prior because they saw the runway show and then called and made a phone call and then took it then. It's crazy, by people, I also talking about myself. I currently have a bag on hold that isn't released until next Wednesday. You learn from the best. You learn from the best. Anyway, check out, where is it? Oh, check that out. What is that? Oh my God, isn't that me? That's wild. You know what I mean? Check that out. The Fool's Guide to Tarot, it's on Amazon. Go grab it. If you love it, leave a review. Reviews really, really help. I'm also on Substack these days. Check that out too. mysticrain.substack.com. You guys want publishing updates? So you Glow Up Manifesto updates? I'm going to tell you anyway. So the Glow Up Manifesto, we are making moves. The funniest thing about this entire process is that somewhere along the way, it didn't dawn on me that I'm now a publisher and also an author, and that just means double the work. It just didn't dawn on me for some reason at that time that like, oh, and so it's like switching back and forth with all the hats, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. And but we're almost there. Oh my gosh, love the cover teaser you posted. Can I show you guys something? I want to show you guys something. Can I show you guys something? Or close your eyes. Close your eyes. She's here. Some of them are here, but she's here. She's real. She exists. She comes in paperback. She comes in hardcover. And she will also come in Kindle, ebook, or whatever ebook that you use, whatever your platform is. She'll come in that too. And we are at the last stages of it, because so much of it was like the production stage, which you can see when it comes to this one and like all these flags in it. It's actually really funny because these are proofs. And what do you do with the proof? You get it, you look at it, and you see if everything is correct. And you're looking at how things are printing, whether or not there are formatting issues, right? Whether or not like you need to fix something. I'll give you, whether or not things need to be fixed on the inside. Sometimes how things look in the digital file is not what they look like when they get printed out, right? And so this is like the first proof. It's the first round, right? We are now at like the last round of proof. So I'm like, okay, thank God. I think we're good to go. Like, I think I can now push that button. Because every time you get a proof, you got to read it again. And so when I tell you the amount of times I've had to read this book again and again and again and again and again, because you're looking for things that like, the weirdest thing about it is that the things I saw, and even the things that were flagged, are things you guys would never see. You would never see it. They are things that drive a publisher crazy, but are things that you as the reader would never notice. You wouldn't even know something was wrong, mostly because a lot of you probably don't know what some of the publishing standards are anyway. And so you wouldn't have known that it was a rule, right? And so it was just me being like, ugh, and then my perfectionism kicking in. And then, so that's what all of these were. But then another thing that some of the proofs were, I'm letting you in on some of the process. Let me find it. Is it this one? No, it is this one. I'm going to show you guys something. And again, you may not even see it, right? But if you look close, and you may not see it, you're going to have to squint. The middle one is slightly thinner than the other two. Why is this the case? Different printers and different distributors use different kind of paper, different weights of paper. And it's not a bad thing, right? Like if you have a huge page count, you may want a paper that's a little bit thinner because you don't want the book to be so heavy, kind of a thing. And it just depends on the book and what you're trying to get out of it. It's not necessarily that one is bad and like one is good, but as the publisher, I have to sit there and go, which one of these makes for a better experience? And then I have to like weigh out like these decisions on things like that and which one I think people would prefer. And it's things that you would not notice because like people who like read this book, unless they're literally sitting on this live right now or ever come across this video literally ever, will never notice the micro change in size. They'll never notice it. They'll never see it. It wouldn't impact them at all. It wouldn't change what was read. It's the same book and with the same pages and the same words, right? It doesn't actually change anything, but it's like these little like minute details that like matters to a publisher. And it's and like a lot of the final touches is all of that stuff. It's literal the final details, and something like that, a size of something is a final details. It's like checking off the final details and, you know, going back and forth and do I like this? Do I not like this? And stuff like that. So ready. December can't come sooner. I'm so excited. Yaya says you didn't say to open my eyes, but I just assumed. I forgot. I had moved right on. Go off annotations, right? I'm telling you, all of the flags. And it's all stuff that you guys wouldn't have noticed it. You guys just would not have noticed it. And I've got all types of lists in here of things that need to be checked and rechecked. And it's written in and things are highlighted. And which was also kind of cool because then I got to the experience of like reading it myself, like as a reader, you know? And so, yeah, that's what's been going on. Plus, I have been working on a little pre-order perk, which was really interesting because it was one of those spiritually guided things. Like it wasn't like an original idea. Like the pre-order perk was, I went to go lay down. I remember having this thought of like, oof, girl, I'm tired. Let me just go take a nap. And the moment I went to go lay down, the spirit was like, wait a minute. And I was like, oh shit. And it was like this massive, massive download on what I should do, what it should be, like the pre-order perk, how many of them you should do. It was the whole plan. It was the whole detail. And so now we are working on that pre-order perk. I'm not going to tell you what that is, not yet, because again, that's in final details, but I will give you a clue to find it if you're curious. The clue of what the pre-order perk is, it's on the website, mysticraid.com. So feel free to peruse and you'll find a clue on what the pre-order perk is. And so I am in the process of working on that right now and trying to put that together and package it and get it all nice or whatever. So it's been a lot, but she's super cute. I'm super proud of her. And she's also in hardcover as well. She's going to be in hardcover, which I'm actually really excited about. And the reason why I'm excited about the hardcover is that authors, like a weird author dream is to have a book in hardcover. I don't know why. But publishers don't typically do them because hardcovers are actually significantly more expensive than paperback. And the people who get hardcover books are usually authors who are like established, have proven that they can sell well. They're probably bestsellers. So the publisher thinks that they're going to make their money back, right? Or they have like a really large audience or something like that. And so the publisher thinks it's a good investment because they think that they can recoup type of thing. But most books are paperback kind of thing. And so when you're a newer author or maybe even a debut author, the likelihood of a publisher giving you a hardcover is not likely. Unless you're like a celebrity or something, it's not likely you're going to get a paperback. As a publisher, I can now do whatever the fuck I want. So a lot of those rules don't apply to me. Because I now do it myself. And I make it up as I go, and I decide what I want, and I decide what I can have, and I decide And like, I'm not like allowing other people to decide what I can or cannot experience. So I'm like, I'm just going to figure out how to do it myself. And then that's how we're going to handle that. And here we go. And so something that could have taken me a significantly long time to reach, which is a hardcover book. I may have had to go 5 more books. I don't even know, because the way they make those decisions are so arbitrary. It's not like a list of rules on how they decide. It's very flippant, you know? Some people get them, some people don't. They just have to consider you worthy enough to have them and think that they're going to make their money back from you, kind of thing. But I'm just kind of like, Plus, there was another reason why I made the hardcover, because when I initially thought about it, I actually was only going to do the paperback. And the reason for that is because hardcovers are more expensive, and they're more expensive for the consumer. And the reason why they're more expensive is because they are significantly more expensive to produce. They're very expensive, which is why when you see the price of a hardcover and a paperback, that's why the price is so different. They're expensive to make, right? They also take longer to make. And that's why you sometimes see, even on Amazon, that a hardcover sometimes takes longer to deliver, because the production line for a it's a lot. It's a lot that goes into it. But I was like, I cannot title a book The Glow Up Manifesto and then get cheap. I was like, I feel like that goes against the energy of the book and like the energy of the message to then suddenly just get cheap and be like, you know? So here she is. She exists. And she will also be an ebook. And then also too, which was actually kind of cool, I've been keeping this. I blocked some of it out so you can't see. But if you look at the top, look, you see that? You see that publishing? You see that Sovereign Quilt Press? That's me. That's the publisher. And I laugh every time I see it, because I'm like, I can do shit too. You know? So anyway, be on the lookout for that. She is coming together. She's in the final detail stages. You still can't see the front. Why? Because she's in the final detail stages. You will see it soon, though. And really what I'm waiting on is for the pre-order perks to be done because I would like to release everything in one go, so people aren't missing things or coming back and things like that. Period. I'm so excited. Do you have any other book ideas that have been popping up now that this one is just about to be finished? Also, hardcover book with thick paper. Book ideas. So this is the interesting about the book ideas. No. Yeah. And no, but I have to play it a certain way. Why do I have to play this a certain way? Without going into too many details, I'm still under contract with my original publisher. And there's still a clause in that contract that makes it very much active. And I'm trying to think of, what can I say? What am I allowed to say? The reason why I can do this book is because they refused it. And at that point, I was able to sell it other places, pitch it other places, but I regained the rights to it. My plan going forward is anything I do, I will keep and maintain all of my rights, and I will keep and I will maintain all of my IP. And that will impact what books I release and when they can get released and when they can come out, and what ideas I have and when they can come out. Because that's a hill I'm willing to die on. Yes. This book actually, too, I also submitted it to Hay House twice. So. But the most interesting, and I was talking to my husband about this the other day, is that I remember being so upset when they refused it, because I took it as such a massive rejection. And I think to myself now that probably was the best thing they could have ever done for me. It literally was that to date is probably one of my most favorite no's I have ever received, because it opened up a world for me that was so much bigger that had so much more opportunity than if they would have taken it. They could have taken it. They could have bet on it. They could have invested it. It could have flopped. I don't know. Right? But even if they took it, I would have never walked away with my own publishing house, walked away with infrastructure that can hold my IP for the rest of my life. I would have never walked away empowered with the skill set, the ability, and the mechanism to control and dictate anything I say. I would have never walked away with a platform to use my voice in the way I feel like it should be used. And even though I was so salty about it then and I cried about it, I had to take the rejection. It's the best no I have ever gotten. When I tell you there are zero hard feelings, I feel nothing but gratitude towards them. And the funniest thing is, it was actually a very kind no. It wasn't even a mean no. That was the smoothest rejection I had ever gotten. But it did hurt because when it's your work, it's really sensitive. It's a really kind of vulnerable feeling because it's like your ideas, it's your consciousness put on paper, and then you're like to other people, do you like it? And when it, it's not aligned, it can hurt a little bit. But like, yeah. So it was the best thing that they could have ever done for me because it made me like independent in like the best way that you can be independent in something. And it created a dynamic where no matter what, I will always have a book deal. I'm even signed to have a book deal. I even did this thing where I like drafted up a contract and was like, I will always have a book deal from this publishing house. Always. And then signed it. And so there's a lot of things that come out of it. And it's a huge learning curve. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot of things to pick up. There's a lot of mistakes to make. But eventually you stop making those mistakes. Eventually you kind of figure it out and you keep it moving. Completely respect that. Yeah. Rejection is redirection. My go-to motto. Yeah. Yeah, my most favorite no I've ever received. It really genuinely, truly, truly is. And I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot even when it comes to like working with authors and like understanding who I will and won't take. I've played around with the idea. I don't know whether or not this is going to be something that I do. Don't hold me to it. On whether or not in the future at some point in time I teach people how to do this themselves, like how to make it themselves, make publishing companies themselves. Because my thing is like, let's say you want to be an author for Sovereign Quill Press and I'm like, it's not a fit, and I become your no. How do I become your favorite no? Like, how would I do that? I don't yet know. And part of the reason why I don't yet know is because I'm still in the process of finalizing things for myself. But it's something that I've been thinking about, like sometime in the future, not this year kind of thing. But like maybe at some point in time, I'll turn around and be like, okay, let's get you to where it is that you're trying to go to kind of thing. But I move on my own schedule. I could push things back because it has been pushed back. There's been a couple of dates that have been pushed back. Again, you wouldn't know about it because I haven't told you. But I can't do that when you're working with a different publisher. They have their own dates. And with that, and there's pressure as an author to make sure you're hitting those dates, and you feel terrible when you miss them. I didn't hit any of my dates when it came to the Fool's Guide to Tarot. I felt awful. There's a lot of pressure that comes with that. But when you're the one running the show, you do whatever the fuck you want. And I realized I like it a lot better like that. I love that you held space for yourself in that way about having your own contract in your own publishing house. I do. I have my own contract in perpetuity, is what it says. And that this publishing house will always publish what I want at any time in perpetuity. And it's also not exclusive, meaning that if for whatever reason I would also like to work with a different publisher in the future, for whatever reason, I don't know, I wanted to leave options open, I don't know what my life has in store for me, then that is on the table too. And the reason why I say that is because publishing and books move slow. The energy of a book is slow. Not that the publishing process has to be slow, although it is a bit slow because there's so many moving parts, so many variables, so many people involved. The books, like a book itself, the energy is just really slow. It's very slow moving. And so that's, and like people, it's not uncommon for an author to put things out. They have an entire backlist. They've published 10 books and they don't hit for 20 years. So they're just like, no one knows who they are. 20 years goes by, something happens, a book hits, and suddenly people know who they are, and they got all this backlog or this backlist of books. You just don't know what's going to happen. And so in publishing, you just have to prepare to know that you may have something potentially that flops, but picks up in 20 years, and you don't know why. You don't know what the wave was, but you always kind of sort of have to have that at your back of your mind, because writing is a permanent art form. And it takes on it's a life of its own, and it does its own thing. And books, now us going into spirituality, have souls, particularly the ones that are spiritually written, books with spiritual intention. They do have their own spirits. They do have their own souls. You can meet them, by the way, going into meditation. You can communicate with them. That's why some books feel like they've changed your life in such profound ways. That's probably what it was that they were meant to do. Books also can have their own birth charts and have their own mission. And you can find out what they are based on the birth chart and what it is that they're actually trying to do, what the soul wants to do. And books are just a different form of incarnation. That is why you have people who die, they've been dead for 100 years, and then suddenly their book takes off. We have classic books now written by people who haven't been alive forever. And their name is famous, and they've been long dead because of something they wrote. Obscure books that when they wrote them, nobody was checking for them. And so because that's the nature and the energy of books themselves, you have to think really far out about like those kind of implications and what they can mean in the future, potentially what they can mean for your descendants. Maybe you don't reap anything for them. Maybe you're long gone, but the people that come after you can pick up the money. So you have to think really far out about what it means. Anyway, shout out to Heath from Rage Creates. I have Oracle decks. You guys want to see them? Rage Creates sent me a deck to review years ago. Like a long time. When I tell you, like OG Mystic Rain YouTube days. Back when I did deck unboxings and like deck reviews, and back when Mystic Rain just wanted to talk about new card decks because she was so excited about it. And she had nobody at home to talk about it with, right? None of her friends. Now, decks, tarot, all that kind of stuff is cool. You can go to TJ Maxx and buy a shirt with a tarot card on it. It wasn't like that when I was coming up. And so I found the community on Tumblr, was a big place, but then also YouTube. And so I would do unboxings for people who were on the fringe of society like me when it came to decks. And he, from Rage Creates, all those years ago, reached out and was like, oh my God, how you been? Just want to send you a gift. And I was like, stop it. Look at this. The Beasties Oracle, 44 rebellious animal spirit cards and guidebook. You guys want to see? That's cute. Look at the artwork on that. And it comes with a guide. I'm just flipping pages. I'm not showing you any of the pages I'm flipping. It comes with a guidebook. And the cards are cute. Look. Oh my God, you guys, I used to do this. What is this? This is the back. I'm sorry. Let me start from the front. I forgot what my job used to be. Giant cuttlefish. Look at that. Look at the artwork on that. Orca whale. platypus, and it looks like they've got the elements at the top. Let me see, because these look like water. Does it change, or is that because at the top you got earth there, mountain goat. Yeah, so you got all the water stuff. So the dolphin, the salmon, the seahorse. You know what? You guys probably want to know where I should have prepared. Where let me give y'all the link. Okay, for Beastie's Oracle, I'm gonna give you the link if you like it. Wait, let me put it in the chat. Okay, hold on. I'm going to wait. There we go. We're in the chat. And I've got something. I've got a code. Right? I'll put that in the chat too. Bear with me because this is no longer my job. All right, I'm gonna also. There we go. There's the code. So if you like these, the shark, we got some more. I don't know what that says. You got an axolotl. Is that? I know I didn't say that right because I believe this is an indigenous word, and there's a way you say it, and I'm pretty sure I didn't respect it at all. Egg. Let's see. Ooh, you got a praying mantis. What else? Got a jellyfish. Shall we read a card? You know what? Hold on. We shall. But I also have another one. Sweet Ass Affirmations 3, Motivation for Your Creative Mystical Mind. Oh my God, this brings me back to the old days. You know, back when I would tell people that I knew how to read tarot cards and they would look at me like I was crazy. And so what I did was I became ordained because I was like, well, if I'm a reverend, you guys won't be so scared. Did I ever tell you guys that story? Look at this. Sweet ass affirmations. Yes, I am ordained. Just add it to a list of fucking surprises. I am a reverend. Oh, look at that. Go the fuck outside. Girl, what? It's true. I wish I was making that shit up. Like, I'm like legit ordained. Like, if you wanted to get married, I could marry you type shit. Like, I'm a whole reverend. And in my OG days, before being fully Mystic Rain, I was Rev Rain, like Reverend Rain. What is this? I am a shimmering fairy and I brighten the day. My fairy dust smothers the demons away. I'll give you the link to this one too. The code is the same for this one. If I forget to do that, somebody yell at me. This big ass light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. That one's cute. In silence, I hear it all. In stillness, I feel it all. I forgive myself and release all pain. My kick-ass inner child will not be restrained. These are cute. Let me give you the link, and then we'll do a quick reading. Yeah, you would have thought that I would have prepared this beforehand, but I didn't do that. That's all right. But I was Rev Rain. I'll tell you the story while I shuffle. Oh, and here is the link to the second one if you like it, so you guys can look at it. I was Rev Rain. Still technically am Rev Rain. I told my husband this like 3 weeks ago because you know, my husband's family is very religious. Like my in-laws are very deep in the church. You know, father-in-law pastor, brother-in-law pastor. Husband's Korean, or my husband's Korean. He is Korean, but my husband is Christian. He says he's serious about it, but then he married me, so I don't know how much I really believe that, you know? But I had to tell it was like 3 weeks ago we had this conversation, and he was like, "You don't know." I forgot what he said. I forgot, and I also forgot what he said I didn't know. But I was like, "You know I'm ordained, right?" He was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "No, you're not." I was like, "No, for real." And he was like, "No, you're not." And I went and I pulled out all the paperwork, and I was like, "See?" I was like, "Here it is." And he was like, "You've got to be kidding." And I was like, "Wish I was." But that was a sturdy. And the reason why I became ordained was because at that time, it's when I tell you, it's not what it is today. People, it scared people. Like if you were like, "Oh, I read cards, I think I'm psychic," it scared people. At that time, people stopped talking to me at that time. I remember coming into it and people thought I was weird. They thought I was crazy. They stopped talking to me. My nose is running. I need a paper of something. A napkin. Oh, let me not do that, Mike. But people stopped talking to me. It wasn't cool in the way that it is today. You didn't go on social media and then just do lives. That you didn't do that. And it was frowned upon and it was taboo. And we still use the word taboo. And you trained and you practiced and you did it in secret. You did not do it open today. No one was launching courses on Kajabi. That's not how it worked. And that's part of how me making the YouTube videos even came up, because I was like, I'm going to make this accessible. And that, you know, and it was what it was. But because people wouldn't take me seriously and they were scared of me, I thought, well, what if I go and I get ordained? Because I'm trying to show people that I'm not like evil. And so I did that. And I went and I got ordained and I became Reverend Rain. Still am, technically. Still am Reverend Rain. I just don't use it. That's so wild how culture has shifted. Yeah. It shifted really, really fast. Like really, really fast. But it wasn't cool. You didn't, like 10 years ago, this shit wasn't, you didn't put this shit on the internet. And if you did, you did it in some kind of fringe way where nobody could ever find you, which is why my name is Mystic Rain. It was so nobody would ever search my government name and then find me on the internet. That's like, it was so I could hide. It was so I could do what I liked to do, but do it in a way that was non-discoverable. All right. Let's see what the message is from these. So 2 just popped out from these cards. And we'll read it in the book because I don't know. We'll read what the messages are. Okay. Ooh. Oh, that's cute. Oh. Okay, I'll show you what we got and then we'll do some reading. The first 2 that popped out, human and bat. So we're going to read human first and then we'll read bat. And then the next one from the other deck that popped out was this. I am the love of my life, and my love creates new life for loving. So we'll read that too. You have lived so many lives, I swear. The lore you just casually dropped. Yeah, I have. It's so funny because I've been like that ever since I was a kid. I would just drop shit. And my mom, I remember, would be like, what? I remember one time, the funniest what I think I ever got from her, there was like I was in band. I was in marching band too. And both bands, but also marching band. And every year there was like a band ceremony, award ceremony kind of thing. And I'll never forget one year, like they announced who the new drum majors were going to be because the seniors were being seniors and they were graduating, and you need to replace the drum majors because you need to find a new head drum major. And I don't know what the culture is like in bands today. Not in band, but at least at that time, the culture was the drum major was like the head bitch in charge. That was the position you wanted. It was the most forward facing position and the position that everyone knew, right? Like it was a very public position. And I'll never forget them being like, and they always saved it to the end, the announcement, because it was the one that was coveted and everyone wanted to know who the new drum major was going to be. And it was always a secret. And I'll never forget that day where they were like, and the new drum major is, and then they called my name. And that was the funniest what I think I ever got from my mom, because that was the first time my mom saw me in like a public capacity, like saw her daughter in a public leading capacity. And that was really shocking for her. And that was kind of a moment where she learned that I had sort of interests that were different and abilities and skills that she hadn't seen before as my mother. But I've always been the way of dropping shit on people. And I don't know why. I love a good setup. Okay, let's get back to this. So the first one was human. Let me find it. Okay. It's a lot. So I'm just going to read it to you, okay? Human. Human gifts you the infinite creative vortex of manifestation. You are a living portal through which universal ideas burst into existence. Each idea is a life force of its own, and through you, it may express itself into form. Your mind's a cosmic antenna for divine creation, but it does not always tune into the cosmic broadcast. The more you calibrate your signal, the more divine creation flows through you and plays out on the channel you call life. If your antenna experiences interference or signal overload from distractions, so that's resistance, fear, mainstream media, unhealthy habits, etc., then divine creation cannot flow through you. Positive ideas will not connect through negative frequencies. They keep moving and find another positive channel instead. Ideas are on divine timing, and they will make their way into form with or without you. Bad ideas get rejected by most in tune antennas, and will attempt to sneak through dissonant ones instead. You experience each idea that makes contact with you as a thought. When you're in tune and receiving good ideas from divine creativity, your thoughts are most positive. The clearer your reception, the more vivid the ideas that flow through you. Life feels better and better each time you help bring your positive thoughts into physical form. It's a harmonious, symbiotic relationship with the source of all creation. The more good stuff you channel, the more comes your way. Every idea is a wild creature seeking expression through you. How tuned in is your antenna? What are you bringing to life? So, tune your antenna is the advice. So align with the cosmic clock, dance under the moonlight, build fires, soak in living waters, and feel the pulse of the earth under your bare feet. Celebrate the stars, hug more humans, listen to the wind, and allow spirit to broadcast on your channel. Harmonize with your circadian rhythm. The more you sync with nature, the more you tune your antenna into divine creativity. And then cosmic reproductions. So channeling creative ideas into the world doesn't have to be a show and tell party. It's enough to feel yourself transforming cosmic energy into form. The more you tune your channel, the more you'll notice unusual synchronicities helping you. This is momentum from the unseen world that will continue to help you in exchange for your positive contribution. And then the affirmation, I am the portal through which positive creativity flows into the world. I am in sync with the rhythm of the natural world, and my creative antenna is always in tune. This has a lot to do with what I always say to you guys, that like it's like a radio. It's a signal. And when using a radio, you kind of have to dial it in. That you can listen, you can want to hear a song, but if you're on the wrong station and you don't retune it to get to a different station, that you can't hear the music that you actually want to hear. But it doesn't mean that the music isn't playing. You're just on the wrong station, right? And so it's the same thing with thought forms. Thought forms are just energy, right? Ideas don't sit in one place. An idea does not find a shelf and then stays there, right? Energy is always in motion. It's always moving, it's always flowing. And because it's a thought form, it just kind of floats through the ethers and it floats through the air, kind of thing. And it passes by people that don't pick it up. And so that's why you can have a good idea, right? Because your signal was tuned into it. So a thought form kind of passed by you, your signal was tuned into it, you picked up on it, but maybe you don't move on it or you don't act on it. Then you come back to social media a month later, 2 months later, and somebody else has that idea. And you're like, that's so crazy. I was just having that idea. Because many people can tune into the same thing at one time, right? I think sometimes people think that like only they can hear it or they can see it, but that's not necessarily the case. Now, when it comes to bringing things into fruition, sometimes somebody's signal is better than the other person's signal, or somebody's signal is stronger than that person, than another person. And so they may be the best equipped to bring it into form. But thought forms are always emotional, they're always kind of moving. And so you want to have your signal tuned, right? Which, by the way, if you read the Glow Up Manifesto, it'll help you tune the signal. It may make you cry a little bit too, but you'll tune that signal by the time you get to the end of it. All right, let's go with the next one. Bat. Bat ushers you into the night of introspection. In the caverns of your mind, allow the contemplation of impermanence to become the light that leads you to a life of bright intent and creative purpose. Turn your world upside down and hang in the shadows. In the darkness, you learn to see the sunshine that is burning within you. In the depths of meditating on your inevitable passing, you see death not as the thief in the night, but as a constant companion illuminating the purpose and beauty within each moment. It is the only constant reminder of how beautiful, fragile, and magical life truly is. Without death, there can be no life. It is your path to choose whether to give your power to the fear of your death or the reverence of it. Allow it to move you. Okay, so the next part says, wise fangs. Truly wise beings feed in the present. If they found out today that they were going to die soon, it would change nothing about the way they live. Live fully, love fiercely, and honor the preciousness of each moment. This is the secret to fulfillment and annihilation of regret. Death does not mean annihilation in totality. It is simply a shift in energetic form. Sometimes things have to die to make space for new, vibrant growth. What if you approach each conversation, project, and action as if it were your last? What kind of beauty would this unleash into the world? And the vortex of pain from loss or passing, ask yourself, what does this make possible? Affirmation. I live each moment as if it is my last. I allow the thought of my death and the death of all I love to move me to great new heights. So this is the card again. Bat. And then the last one, which was the affirmation, I am the love of my life, and my love creates new life for loving. I'll read this. It's on the back. Ooh. See? This one, by the way, doesn't have a guidebook. Everything is on the back of the cards. You are the love of your life, and damn, you are sexy. Your partners, besties, family members, pups, cats, and other companions are the loves of their own lives. In this vortex of internal wholesome love, you unleash your hearts and truths into each other. You create a family of light. You create the God frequency. When you remember you are the love of your own life, you reflect the beauty within you out into this world and wrap your surroundings with compassion and cuddles. You remove the search and become the source of love instead. There is only love. Everything else is resistance to love. You are the love of your life, and your love creates new life for loving. Michael Jackson said when he would get an idea in the middle of the night, he would hurry up and act on it, because if not, Prince would steal it. I mean, I get all my stuff at night. I don't really get hits during the day like that. Most of my creative stuff comes in the dead of night, like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. I wake up every night around 3 a.m. and it's just ideas and whys and why nots. At 3 a.m., that's when I go visit my spirit council. I've got a lot of them, and I go talk to the beings. I go commune with the voices. And I get a lot of answers during that time, a lot of explanation for why things are and are not. And they also give me a lot of ideas, and they tell me what to do, what not to do, how to do it, what to say, what not to say, how to say it. I get a lot of spiritual help. And I find that really interesting. I'm actually really curious for what that means for the Glow Up Manifesto, because the Glow Up Manifesto wasn't my idea. I mean, it's my idea, but it didn't come from an intellectual place. It was a very spiritual moment and a very spiritual download that was very particular when it came to the tone and the voice that needed to be used, and being told that if I don't use that tone and why I don't, and if I don't use that voice, that it won't hit the way it needs to hit, and it won't hit the people who need to be hit. Which is why I say that some people who will read it will cry. Because that's what that is the intended purpose of it for some people, because they need to have that, they need that effect to sort of get it, for it to click. Not everybody will cry, but some people will, kind of a thing. But anyway, yeah. So thanks, Heath. Rage creates. So if you're into it, check out the links for that. I love that it's very fitting considering the conversation we've had so far. Very much so needed to hear all of that. Good. I'm so glad. Like, I think I find the message really interesting because it actually ended up tying on what I had wanted to talk about before I had even opened. I even have the notes like here of what I was actually going to say, which is like, trust is a muscle. Like, building trust in yourself, like, that's a muscle. Trust itself is a muscle. That's why someone can break your trust and it takes so long, to get it back, for them to get it back, because it's a muscle and you have to work it out all the time. But it's the same thing when it comes to learning how to trust yourself. People have a hard time following themselves, following their desires, what it is that they want to do, making their own decisions, because they don't trust that they're the best person who's the most equipped to make that choice. People say, well, what if I fuck up? Then fuck up. Fuck up. But you have to give yourself space to fuck up and be like, it's okay to make mistakes, because what's happening is that I'm learning. And part of that is a trust exercise. Like, trusting that even if you make a mistake, at some point you're going to figure it out. That trusting that even if maybe you get it wrong, at some point you're going to get it right. But also trusting that you may not get it wrong. Trusting that, like, you may get it the first time. Shit. But trusting yourself to make the decisions for yourself and not going to other people to make those decisions. And this is where it gets really dicey and difficult, because we as a society are very accustomed and trained to go outside of ourselves for guidance, because you're taught to do that. You're taught, go, as a kid, you go ask your mother, you go ask your father, or whoever your caregiver was. You go into school, you go ask your teacher. You got to ask to go to the bathroom. You can't even pee in peace. You know what I mean? So society does a really good job of training you to get guidance from others. And so you can be in a situation where you're like, but my gut says I need to do this. Someone goes, you should do that. And then you're battling your gut feeling and sitting there going, I don't know what to do, when your gut is telling you what to do, but you're out of practice. You're out of practice with trusting yourself to make the decisions for you. When it comes to me, I am the only person that makes decisions for me. Nobody else makes decisions for me. My husband would love to make a decision for me, but he can't do it because I'm my own being. I'm a sovereign being. Even if I make a mistake, I trust that I'll figure it out on the back end. I trust that even if I made a mistake, I know I'm going to learn something. I may not yet know what it is. I may not yet know what that thing that I'm supposed to learn is. I don't know yet. But I trust that whatever I learn, it's meant for me to learn. I trust that when it comes to anybody having my back, I'm the most well-equipped person to have it. I trust that I am the most qualified person to call the shots when it comes to anything in my life. I may not yet know what some of those shots are, but I trust that I know better than you. How can you call a shot for me when you can't call a shot for yourself? And what happens is that people are so accustomed to letting other people call shots for them, and those people are not equipped to call the shots for their own life. You're taking guidance from people who don't follow their own guidance, who have no idea what an intuition is, who don't trust themselves, and you're allowing them to impede what it is that you're trying to do. And that gets in the way of your ability to create, your ability to move forward, and then also your ability to move forward fast. Because creation is a very fast energy. It's not a slow moving energy. Once you start creating, what you're really effectively doing is manifesting. And that's an energy that moves very quickly. And every time you stop to get somebody else's opinion when it comes to what it is that you're doing is the moment you slow down whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. Because it's impeding the process. If that person was equipped to help you, they would be manifesting what it is that you're currently working on. But they're not. But you're waiting for their guidance. And what's effectively happening is that you're looking for permission, approval, some sort of societal like thumbs up saying that you're not doing the wrong thing. And so much of that is happening unconsciously because it's how we're trained to move throughout the world. It's how societies maintain control over people. And so part of the work is breaking out of that. The Glow Up Manifesto talks a lot about that. The Glow Up Manifesto is very rebellious. I talk a lot of shit about a lot of people. But it also is going to get you from point A to point B. Really, the whole premise is going from worthless to worthy. The whole premise is to get you to move out of a space where you feel like you can't do something or can't be somebody and move you into a space where you know that you can do it and that you can be somebody. People say like, oh, you know, we're going to glow up. We're going to glow up. And people talk about aesthetics. They talk about physical things. They talk about appearances, right? They can change their hair, lose a bunch of weight, change their wardrobe, get their nails done, buy new shoes, and they're still living with the same limited mindset and nothing in their world changed outside of their clothes. Because the true glow up isn't physical. The true glow up is in here, which is what the Glow Up Manifesto is about. It's about glowing up your mindset so you can get what you want and be who you want. By understanding that it was always yours from the jump. But to get you to understand that, we have to first address where you are, deconstruct it, and bring into your awareness how you got there, completely rip it apart, and then build new beliefs in order for you to be like, actually, you know what? I actually am a bad bitch, and I was always meant for this. Which is why I say some people are going to cry. Because some people are going to be confronted with limited beliefs that one, they didn't know was there. But then they're going to realize how it got there. And that's going to be a lot for some people because they're going to have to work through some shadow aspects in order to get to the other side of it. But you're going to get to the end of the book knowing that you were always that bitch. That is what I'm working on a lot right now, having that faith in myself to keep trying and not assuming I will fail or that I can't do it or that I'm not the right type of person. I'm not the right person to do it. Trust in myself. I love that for you. And it's a practice and it's like a daily thing. It's a muscle. You have to do it often. You have to get to the point where you have made decisions in which you were like, I'm leaning by trusting in myself, not having faith, because I find that faith is really a way of saying I don't believe, but I'm putting it in God's hands. With trusting is about, it's my hands. Trusting is a very deliberate, intentional practice and experience when you are owning and claiming that you are holding it. It's not, I'm going to give it a go and see what works. No. I'm holding and I'm claiming it. And it's mine. And because now I claim it as mine, it's going to work out. I don't know the details in between. I don't know how it's going to work out. I don't know how I'm going to get from point A to point B, but you got to claim it first. People are trying to figure out how to get to point B, but you've claimed nothing. So why would you get the answer for how to get to B when you haven't even claimed it yet? It's not going to come to you. The answers start coming to you after you've claimed that it's yours. You just have to claim it first. And that's the trust part. It's the making the decision. I'm deciding that this is what I'm going to do. And oh my God, I have heart palpitations and this shit feels scary, but I'm doing it. And the more you do that, the more you say, no, I'm going to hold it. It's a muscle. It's like going to the gym. You're working it out. The easier it is to be like, I'm going to hold it. The easier it is to sit in that space. And you will notice that it will impact all areas of your life. It's not just like, I'm going to do this when it comes to my goals. It will impact how you show up everywhere, how you show up in your friendships, how you show up in your relationships, if you are a parent, how you show up with your kids. It'll impact how you show up at work, how you start maneuvering within your career. It will also impact how people see you and how people perceive you. Because the reason why that happens is because the moment you say, I now hold this, you have effectively claimed authority, power, and like dominion over your space. And people see that. People can sense that. They may not understand what they're looking at. They will just sense that something has changed about you, that something is a little bit different. The moment you're like, no, I hold this. This is mine. This is me. I hold it. But you got to claim it first. And then the answers come to you. Then you get the clarity on the back end. People think they get the clarity first, that it all makes sense in the beginning. And then once it makes sense, they take that I can use the fact that it makes sense as a sign. And then that the sign is now my sort of green light to move forward, when it's reversed, right? You make the choice to move forward, and then the clarity comes, because clarity isn't needed if you haven't made the choice to do anything with it. People are waiting for all the answers for something that they haven't yet chosen to utilize. It's just energetically inefficient. You make the choice to move, and then you hold a real intention that you're moving. That's the trust. The trust is that you are the most equipped to make that decision for yourself. There is nobody else that is more qualified to choose whether or not you move other than you. That's it. You move first. You make that choice. You have that intention that you're moving. It's okay if you're nervous. I think also people think that like you're calm. Most of the time, you're not calm. A lot of the time, it's not a calm experience to move first, because it's reasonable to sometimes think that you may get it wrong, or that you may fail, or that you may make a mistake. These are normal things. These are normal. And you also have to factor in like societal conditioning. To think that you're not going to have that experience overnight is unfair to you. It's normal to think, oh God, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. But you have to know that you're always doing the right thing for you. You are always making the best decision for you. You are the most qualified person to make any decision on your behalf. Nobody else is more qualified than you to make a decision on your behalf. And that's the space that you're moving from. That's what the trust is. The trust is in the knowing that you are the only qualified individual to make the decision for yourself. That's it. Because you know what you want, you know what you need, you know what you desire. People are trying to tell you what to do, and they have no idea what's happening in your mind. They have no idea what's on your heart. And they think that they're the ones to make the decision for you. How? They don't know your background. They don't know your past. They don't know where you're coming from. They don't know what drives you, what motivates you. They know nothing. They don't have enough information. You're the only person that has all of that information, which makes you the only person qualified to do it. Damn, that would hurt them. But yes, very true. So many of us are just waiting for approval, permission, validation to even begin. I can't wait to read your book. I'm some people. Honestly, muscle is so true. You really have to reframe your thinking process and your actions to put it into practice and get on that frequency. So hard to do without thinking, but gotta practice. It's constant. You have to do it every day. Every day you have to make an intentional decision, an intentional choice. When I tell you, you guys are going to be so sick of me after this book, the amount of exercises in it, the amount of like, try this, try that, try this, try that, do this, do that, do this ritual, do these steps. The amount of like, it's so much in it that like, you're going to have the tools in order, like if you have a moment where you're like, oh my God, you'll have the tools to be like, okay, hold on, let me stop. What did she say? What's step 1, 2, 3? Okay. And then you're going to just rattle it off and then do it again. You have to do it. It's just a practice. Judy says, I'm excited to read your book. Oh, that makes me excited. I think it's going to be super helpful. Really needed to hear this today. Good. I'm glad. Hi. Did you just get here? Well, always glad to have you. But it's just a practice. And I think that so much of pursuing the life that you want for yourself is realizing that in order to pursue it, you have to break through the barriers of what society told you to do, because what society said was wrong. Society is not going to teach people to pursue their greatest love and their greatest joy. Because when people start to do that, you know where it leads to? Freedom. And that is not helpful to a society that just wants to control and maintain order. And the whole premise is just to maintain order, because if you had everybody out here doing what they wanted, it would be really disorderly, right? So you have to recognize that it requires sort of, call it a sacred act of rebellion. You have to be like, no, this doesn't work for me anymore. These rules don't work for me anymore. Like the book will have you questioning the rules that you follow. And why are you following those rules? Why? The amount of rules that people follow that make no sense. Like, why would you? Like, you'll sit there and you're gonna be like, wait, what? Like, I do follow that, and I don't know why I do that. Like, the amount of things that we do that don't make any sense, like the amount of things that we say to each other, and then we subscribe to this narrative, the amount of belief systems that we've picked up from grandparents who, one, lived in a different time, didn't have access to technology or the internet or information. And we live in a day of an era of information, but we have taken a belief system that was created in an era where information didn't exist. And we went, yeah, this makes sense. And then we live our entire lives by it. The amount of times people say, well, I don't think I can do that. Why can't you do that? Like, if you literally sat down with yourself, why can't you do it? Because not knowing how to do something and not being able to do something are very different things. What you're dealing with is that you don't know how to do it yet. That doesn't mean you can't do it. You just don't know how to do it yet. That's different. If you want to learn how to do something, you first make the choice that you're going to do it, and then the information comes to you. Why would the information come to you on how to do something if you haven't even made a choice to do it? It's just an inefficient use of energy. It doesn't work like that. You make the choice to move, and then reality reorganizes itself around you. Why does it reorganize itself around you? Because you are still source at the end of the day. And I recognize that you guys understand that, but sometimes as a human, grasping the magnitude of that is difficult, right? Like, we understand that as a concept, but to sit in the weight of the magnitude of that is really difficult for people. But as source, reality has no choice. As source, once you command it, and you command it by making a choice to move, that's how you command reality. It doesn't have a choice but to move, to shape, to rebend itself around you. It doesn't have a choice. It can't tell you no. It can't say, wait, hold on, hold up. And the faster you move, the faster it reorganizes itself. And reality does this thing. It has this energy where it's almost like it'll run behind you like a kid with little legs, where it's like, oh my God, wait, hold up, wait a minute, hold up. And it's trying to catch up to you. But you make the choice to move, and then reality will bend around you. It has to. You're the source. It has no choice but to listen to your command. And so what you're doing is commanding it. And so when it comes to the trust in yourself, you trust yourself because you're source. Of course, you're the only person that has the qualifications to make that decision. You're commanding it. And with that command, you're commanding everybody else to shut up and move out the way. You're commanding it to bend. You're commanding it to reshape. You're commanding it to reform around you. You're commanding that the people around you reform too, because here's another thing. People are a part of the reality, which means that people will start to interact with you a little bit different. They won't know why. They'll just sense it. Some people will be fine with it. It'll make some people a little bit uncomfortable. It just depends who they are. And it depends on whether or not they're supposed to be in this reality that you're now reshaping. It's possible that they're not supposed to be. And if they're not, reality will bend to you and reality will remove them. But you're moving and reality is bending around you. As you move, your energetic field, your aura, it's like water. So when you, like, whenever water, the wind can blow and then you'll see little ripples in a lake kind of thing, right? That's what your energy field is doing all the time. And the reason why at the moment it's just little ripples in a lake is because you're unaware of that's what it's doing. So you're not moving the energy with any intention. The moment you understand that you are rippling at all times and that you can control your ripple, that will determine how powerful it is, how big the wave is, how far out it moves, how quick it moves. And those ripples are impacting and influencing space-time, timelines, realities, right? People go cause and effect, and people think that, like, I don't know what they think, but they think that, people, I think, misinterpret the end result, right? They see the end result and they think, oh, it's because I worked extra hard that I got this thing. And so they're thinking that the cause of something was the really hard work, right? I went to work. I did all these double shifts, you know what I mean? And I did all these double shifts because I wanted to make enough money, because I wanted to put a down payment on a house, right? And so they're thinking it's the hard work that got them there, that the cause is the hard work and the effect is the house, not realizing that the cause is yourself. The human is the cause because the human is the source. And the cause is created by the decision that's made. It's not created through hard work. It's not created through effort. It's created by an intentional decision made. That's the cause. The cause creates the ripple, and then everything else is the effect. You are a walking cause. You are source in form. And every time you make an intentional decision, reality has no choice but to bend to you because you are what commands it. And so the trust is understanding that that is what you are, that you're always going to be all right because you're a source and you command it, that it's always going to work out because you're a source and you command it. And that in this particular moment, you're a human, so you may have forgotten the finer details. So you may not remember how A turns into B. That's fine. You don't have to know all those details. You don't have to remember all these details. Humans get so worked up in the details that that humans forget the bigger picture, which is your source. You command reality. You make an intentional decision, and reality reshapes itself. The harder the decision, the faster reality will reshape itself. You can flip your whole life in 6 months. Your whole life by making a series of intentional decisions. Your whole life can flip in 6 months because your source and reality has no choice but to bend to your command. So that is what you're trusting. You are trusting in the knowledge that you are the cause and reality is the effect. So if you are right now looking at a life that you don't like, as much as it sucks to hear, you have to understand that you are the cause and reality is the effect. So if you want to flip it, You flip the cause, i.e., you flip yourself. You flip how you make decisions, and you do that by flipping how you think about decisions, and you do that by flipping your mindset. And your mindset needs to end with you understanding that you are the cause and everything else is the effect. And once you grasp that you're the cause, you recognize how powerful you are. Anything you say goes. Not everyone's going to like it because a lot of people don't realize that they're the cause. And rubbing up against something that's that powerful, that's that sure of itself, is uncomfortable for people. And when you are in the process of feeling in and sensing your own power, your own deep spiritual power, because that is what you are, people are going to have a hard time with that because they don't yet know who they are. People are still searching. People are still trying to find themselves and not understanding why they can't find themselves because you're looking at yourself in a job title, but you are the source. That's why it never matches. That's why it never fits. That's why people get to a place, they're happy for 5 minutes, and then they're like, oh, I just feel so unfulfilled again, but I don't understand. On the surface, it looks like I have everything. On the surface, it looks like I have, maybe I have the relationship, or I have the car, or I have the house, or I have this, or I have that, whatever it is, but I'm still unfulfilled because you're looking for things that, without recognizing that you're the source. You are the thing. You're trying to find yourself in the thing that you as the source created. Do you ever think universe interrupts you as well? I'm asking because I probably ignored taking time to rest for too long and then my body literally crashed out. Yes, you will get interrupted for sure. I had a good long talk and was told that I needed to rest my body. I get so frustrated when the ideas are also flowing. You will definitely get interrupted. I've also noticed too that if you have a lot of energy flowing through you, that it'll tire your body out too, because the frequency is a lot for a human body to hold when a human body is not in practice holding it. So it'll also knock you out as well. But even that, why are you resisting rest? Why are you resisting it? We have rules for that too. People will say, oh, people feel like they haven't worked hard enough to rest. Rest is a weird thing where people often feels like, and this is also one of those things that people do. People are not even conscious that they're doing it. But it's also one of those things where people feel like they have to earn it. Rest has one of those weird rules, societal rules on it, where people feel like they have to earn the rest. And if they don't feel like they've done enough to earn the rest, then they won't rest and they'll fight it. And then that's when the body starts taking you out and trying to lay you on your ass because it's like, hey, can you take a nap for a minute? But that's also a weird societal rule. And people are proud of it. People are like, well, I work 12 hours and I haven't taken a vacation in 5 years. And then they're proud. And I'm like, Brenda, you need a nap. That's it's not honorable. You're going to get sick, Brenda. You know what I mean? You want autoimmune issues? Go lay down. I'm an Asian Capricorn. I don't even know if I was ever allowed to rest. So it's something that I need to practice. I've noticed that too with the Asian community that happens a lot. I find that with actually it's all of my in-laws and with my husband that they just never sit down. And I said, my husband might have to be like, can you go lay down? Just go no, I got to do something. Why? Why? But it's a societal thing and it's a cultural thing. And we have so many cultural societal rules that are just baked in. And a lot of times we don't question where they came from. And then not only do we not question where they came from, we never sit there to reassess, does it work for me? We all understand that part of life, when you're younger, where you don't have an ability to make the choice for yourself. Being a kid and saying no to your parent. We all know that there was consequences for that, But we all reach a point in our lives where there's no more consequences. And then when we get to that point, we have to reassess. Does this rule still work for me? If it doesn't, why am I following it? Where is the payoff? If there's no payoff, why am I following it? And then at that point, you got to do some excavation. You got to figure it out. You got to unearth some things, maybe a little shadow work. And then you got to start rewriting new rules. Write something new. Rewrite a whole new set of things. That's also, by the way, in the Glow Up Manifesto. There's a whole chapter on rewriting the rules. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. Do with it whatever you want. But it's hard. And I'm going to give you guys that. It's not easy stuff. Like, I don't want to sit here and like act like it's easy. It's not. It's not easy. And particularly, like, I have gotten a huge dose of my own medicine because when you write that stuff, it's almost like spirit goes, prove it. Right? Like, okay, so you're going to teach this concept. So, like, spiritually, you get sort of put through this ringer where you have to be able to, where you have to practice what you teach, where you kind of have to run through it yourself, and you start sort of hitting a lot of these walls and these areas and opportunities for growth where you start running up against your own limitations. And so for me, running up against a lot of my own limitations while I was writing it, even in the whole production phase, and having to, like, there's been times when I've gone back in, I was like, wait, hold on. What did I say? What do I got to do? Oh, shit. like, wait a minute. What were the rules? And like, take my own medicine. Actually, there is something, maybe I can find it. There was something in here that I highlighted where I read it, and then literally out loud, I remember thinking, oh, damn. Like, I remember saying it out loud because I was just proofing, and I read it, and I was like, this is talking to me. Where is it? Let's see if I can find it and hopefully find it quickly. I found it. You cannot fully shift into self-belief while still indulging in your fits of self-doubt. You cannot claim to be someone who follows through while still giving yourself permission to quit because you got scared and something felt hard. And I read that shit back. And when I tell you I shut this damn book and I threw it, I was like, shut up, past me. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Exactly. Exactly. It's not easy at all. It's hard. It's really, really hard, but you have to make an effort to because your peace is on the line. Your well-being is on the line. Your happiness is on the line. Your freedom is on the line. People are like, I just want to feel free. I just want to feel free. And they're looking for freedom outside of themselves. Freedom is in here. You get free here. Y'all seen The Matrix. You get free in the mind. The glow up is in the mind. You glow up the mind, your life glows up. Why? It doesn't have a choice. Your source. You command it. It doesn't have a choice but to do what you say. I've had this live starts at 7:40 banner the whole time. Jesus Christ. Sloppy. You guys got any questions? You want to do a Q&A? Or shall I just drop the mic and leave? Let me know. Speaking of being tired due to energy, spirit, TMI, do any of y'all bleed after channeling? It's new, but after just about every time I've channeled for the last year, I will spot it's the strangest thing. That's the first time I've heard that. Hmm. No. If that is happening, then your energy is leaking somewhere. That means you're not using it efficiently. You're using it. What I'm sensing is that there is a force in effort. So what I'm sensing is that you're efforting too much. How do I explain this? Channeling is a flow. Channeling, it flows through you. It's not supposed to come through you. It's supposed to flow through you like water. What I'm sensing is that there's too much effort, that there's a push that's happening to get the information and get it out. That you're pushing like it's almost like you're pulling on it and then pushing it out, right? As opposed to letting it flow in and then out. So think of it like opening a window. Channeling is like, you ever want to refresh your house because it feels stale, and so you open a window so the air can flow in and out. Think of channeling like this. Like you're opening a window so air can flow in and out. You don't push the air out of your house. You don't push outside air in. You just open the channel. You open the window so it can flow in and out, right? Channeling isn't supposed to effort. It's supposed to flow. Will you make the Glow Up Manifesto available in audiobook? I'm thinking about it. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. Honestly, I've been thinking about it though. I've been thinking about many ways that I can turn it into it. It will be released initially in 3 forms, in 3 formats. It's not uncommon for people to go back and then add the audiobook at a later time. I don't want to promise that. All I can say is that it'll be out in 3 formats, which is hardcover, paperback, and then ebook. We will see about the audiobook. You guys really want audiobook? All right, I'll think about it harder. When you say audiobook, are you talking about audiobook in my voice, or are you talking about audiobook from like a narrator? Do you want me to like read it to people like how I read, or do you want because you could do both. You can have a narrator, like a professional narrator, not like narrate the book, or the author can do it. Do you have any thoughts on this upcoming Virgo season? I know the energy will be crazy with the eclipse coming soon. I have no thoughts on it. I haven't actually followed the seasons like that in quite some time. Like in the like the zodiac, I haven't followed it a lot, like in terms of astrology, because what I eventually realized is that once you kind of have a command over your energy, you can kind of influence your own energy to do whatever you need it to do, regardless of the season. And so I just lost interest in it. So I haven't followed it recently, not a lot. In my voice. Okay, all right. I work overnight and I like to listen to books, and I would love if you narrated it. All right. I'll think about it harder. I always enjoy the time I spend with all of you. Oh, is this the first time you're commenting? Is this the first time I'm seeing your name pop up? Unless you changed your name, because that could be a thing too. Or maybe you were commenting, but you were just under a different name, or maybe a different account. Still going to get the paper version. Good. And there will be a pre-order perk. As I said before, I'm working on it. Not telling you what it is yet, but there are clues on Mystic Rain. On mysticrain.com, there are clues. If you, honestly, I don't think it's hard to find. I didn't hide it. You just have to go look. All right, guys. I think I'm done. You know? We have? Okay. But I think I'm done. You know? I think I'm just gonna like hit you guys like how a comedian hits them. This was my time. This was my time. I'm done. I've run out of things to say. I'm gonna love and I'm gonna leave you. If I don't see you again, I'll see you next lifetime.